to say a few words about the Alcestiad. And I think it's useful to remember that in the late 30s, my uncle began writing not just 1, 2, 3, but 4 or 5 plays all at once. In fact, that was the way he worked. And he threw into this pile a play he began called the Alcestiad, based on Euripides' classical play, the Alcestiad. And that's how it began in the late 30s. He lost it during the war, started writing it again after the war, finally finished it in 1955. Had its world premiere in Edinburgh. The audience apparently liked it. The critics didn't. He pulled it back. It was released in German in 1957 and performed all over Germany, and he still wasn't through with it. He turned it into an opera, and he worked on that with a woman named Louise Talma, a world premiere of a hugely important opera in Frankfurt, Germany, in I think it was 1962. And then it kind of vanished because he lost some faith in it, in some sort. And yet here was a play that he'd worked on for 4 decades and in fact wasn't published in English till after he died. Here's the story of a woman who gives her life to save her husband. And why? And what does the sacrifice teach us about who we are? Emily dies, same questions being asked. People die on a bridge in the bridge of San Luis Rey. Why? This is Wilder's familiar territory. He's trying to be, he wants us all in his works, tried to speak in a universal way, the kind of life we're going through, how we're brought up, how we're born and brought up, what we suffer. Sometimes the gods seem to come in and cause things to happen, or is it fate? What is it? He uses Greek mythology to tell this story. He knew the Alcestis legend well. And not only does he tell us the legend, but in the German production that I mentioned in Edinburgh, he adds finally the final touch, the satyr play. Now, a satyr play is supposed to be funny. And Wilder's play, called The Drunken Sisters, is hysterical. It's got a kind of sad ending, but it's very funny. It's one of the funniest things he ever wrote. And the satyr play is what you do after you've lived through 3 acts of sadness and tragedy and death. Well, you have to have something sweet to go home with. So the satyr play is supposed to make you laugh and want to come back to the theater the next time, and the Greek audiences love satyr plays. So he's given them that too.